We are all afraid of something. Are you afraid of failure? How can we manage that fear and walk on water? As a result of seeing the wind and giving in to fear, Peter began to sink into the water. So here is the question. Did Peter fail? Failure is not an event, but rather a judgment about an event. Before Jonas Salk developed a vaccine for polio that finally worked, he tried 200 unsuccessful times. Somebody asked him, how did it feel to fail 200 times? I never failed 200 times in my life, Salk replied. I was taught not to use the word failure. I just discovered 200 ways how not to vaccinate for polio. Somebody once asked Winston Churchill what most prepared him to risk political suicide by speaking out against Hitler during the years of appeasement in the mid-1930s, then to lead Great Britain against Nazi Germany. Churchill said it was the time he had to repeat a grade in elementary school. You mean you failed a year in grade school, he was asked? I never failed anything in my life. I was given a second opportunity to get it right. Was Winston Churchill a failure? Was Jonas Salk a failure? Did Peter fail? Well, I suppose in a way he did. His faith wasn't strong enough. But here's what I think. I think there were 11 bigger failures sitting in the boat. They failed quietly. They failed privately. Their failure went unnoticed, unobserved, uncriticized. Only Peter knew the shame of public failure. But only Peter knew two other things as well. Only Peter knew the glory of walking on the water. He alone knew what it was to attempt to do what he was not capable of doing on his own, then feeling the euphoria of being empowered by God to actually do it. Once you walk on the water, you never forget it, not for the rest of your life. I think Peter carried that joyous moment with him to his grave. And only Peter knew the glory of being lifted up by Jesus in a moment of desperate need. Peter knew, in a way the others could not, that when he sank, Jesus would be wholly adequate to save him. He had a shared moment, a shared connection, a shared trust in Jesus that none of the others had. They couldn't, because they didn't even get out of the boat. The worst failure is not to sink in the waves. The worst failure is to never get out of the boat.